Hello. It's nice to see you. Yeah, don't try to talk. Yeah. I know that heard that you pretty much lost your voice and you have kind of a sore throat. Yeah, so try not to talk as much as you can, okay? Okay. All right. So I went to the liberty of going ahead and checking in for you. I just need you to confirm. So, is this all the correct information? Yes. Okay, perfect. I'll go ahead and write that as confirmed. Okay, so I'm going to do my best to only give you yes and no questions, okay? So, but if you do have any other questions, just let me know. Okay? Okay, so the first one is, where is it hurting? And you can just point. I'll ask you some just pointing questions as well. Kind of like all here. Okay. Do you get headaches? Yes. Okay. So you've got headaches. And do you usually have a cough? Okay. So yes to a cough. Are you a singer by chance? No. Okay. No singer. Okay. And let me check my list. Let's see here. Have you been exposed to any like chemicals, or do you smoke? No. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Have you had this before? A while back. Okay. Okay. And have you been exposed to, say, like somebody with another cold, or maybe also has kind of a sore throat or something like that? Okay. Perfect. Okay. Let me make sure I didn't want. Okay. So what it sounds like that you have is that you probably have laryngitis. Basically what laryngitis is it's your voice box that is inflamed. Okay, so you have two different kind of places in your neck that pass along something. So in front, right here, where it feels kind of rigid a little bit, that is your windpipe, and right in between it is your larynx, and your larynx controls your voice box and anything that can basically produce sound. And then right behind it is your esophagus. So that basically is when you swallow food or anything like that. Okay? So basically what a lot of people have is that their voice box gets inflamed, or the little tissues or ligaments do, and then people lose their voice, and then their throat can get inflamed or sore, and you can basically produce a cough, and it's very painful, but it sounds like that is what you might be having today. Okay? Some things that we would be able to perform is a laryngoscopy. And basically that's where we take a tube and we pass it along down through your nasal passage and down, and it has like a little camera at the end, and we'd be able to see if there was any white areas, which usually means that it's inflamed there. But since you've kind of already given me kind of all this information, it sounds like it's just a acute version or a viral version of laryngitis. So I don't think we will need to go to that extent of being that invasive. Okay? Okay. So I just want to just kind of run you through a little bit more. Another reason we would perform that is because there's another thing called epiglottitis, and that's basically just a form of another inflammation of your epiglottis, which basically helps still control movement in your neck. So we probably don't need to perform anything like that. You don't have any difficulty breathing, it seems like. Okay. And also people would be drooling and they wouldn't have a cough either. So it doesn't seem like, since you do have a cough and you just fit the symptoms of the other one, then we don't need to worry about that. Okay. Okay. Anyways, we will go ahead and move on. I'm just going to kind of just do a regular exam. I want to make sure that you don't have like too much of a fever. I want to make sure that your lungs sound clear, just to kind of rule out maybe pneumonia or maybe another infection that maybe is causing your laryngitis. So I want to go ahead and just do that real quick. I'm going to also want to go ahead and look in your mouth just a little bit to see if maybe there is another inflamed area. Make sure you don't maybe have tonsillitis or anything like that. Okay. Do you have any questions for me? I know that was a lot of information. No? Okay. Sounds good. Alright, let me just double check here to see if I have anything else for you at the moment. Oh, you did lose your voice. Okay, yeah, no, of course. It will usually take about 1 to 3 weeks to be completely healed, always with some kind of throat infection of any kind. Usually does take a little bit longer, so I probably think that it'll probably take at least a couple weeks to be at least completely gone. Okay, and I'll be able at the end, after I've ruled out everything else, I'll be able to give you a couple remedies that'll be able to help you out. Okay, perfect. Alright, let me just double check here. Perfect. Alright, let's go ahead and get to your exam, okay? Alright, first I'm going to go ahead and just feel right here on your neck, okay? Okay, just real quick. It does feel, is that a little painful? It feels maybe a little bit. I can't feel too much, but that really doesn't really mean much. But if it was maybe even more inflamed, then I'd probably be a little more concerned. But since it isn't, you might mean you just need some rest. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna take your heart, and we're also gonna take your lungs. Okay. Just breathe as easy as you can. Perfect. Good. Let's get the back here. Good. Good. And then I'm just going to start with your lungs. So if you could just breathe in and out. Yeah, just nice and gentle. Easy in and out. Good. 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 again, nice and easy. Good. Okay, just gonna do it back here. They sound pretty clear. Okay, and one more, please. Perfect. Okay, let me do the other side. Good. Good. And one more. Good, and one more again. Perfect. Okay. Alright, well, everything actually sounded pretty good. So I probably wouldn't be too worried that there's any other infection spreading anywhere else. I would like to take your temperature, just in case, because I know that you're probably, since you do have an infection, that you do probably have a little bit of a rise in your basal body temperature. Okay, so if you could just open your mouth. Okay, thank you. Perfect. It'll just beep when it's done. Good. 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 Okay. It's not too bad. Let me take a quick note of that though. Okay, so perfect. Okay, and then lungs, heart, clear. Perfect. Okay. Just put that there, and I'm just gonna look in your eyes real quick, just to kind of make sure that they're all cleared up too. Don't want to have anything spreading or anything, okay? Alright, so just look straight ahead, and then I'll have you look to the side and then to the other side, okay? Okay. Perfect. Good. Actually, if you could look up for me. Perfect. And down as well. Just look around. Okay, and to that side. Perfect. And to the other. Okay. If you could look straight ahead once more. Okay. Pupils seem to be dilating. Everything looks pretty good. Nothing seems to be inflamed or anything like that. Are you just a little tired? Okay. Yeah. Alright, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna look in your mouth a little bit, okay? Okay, perfect. I've got my magnifying glass and my light real quick. We'll start with that. Then, let's see if there's anything else. Okay, so if you can just open your mouth, please. Thank you. Good. Good, 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 good. Good, 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 good. Good, 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 good. Perfect. Don't see much. Okay, let me get my suppressor here. Then just look around just slightly. Okay. Okay. See if the right there. push back on your tongue like that. Does that hurt? No? Okay, perfect. Okay. I don't see any white areas back there, so we can definitely rule out tonsillitis, which is really good. That's really painful. But besides that, I think you definitely do have just regular acute laryngitis. Okay. One more question? Yeah. So chronic laryngitis would be if you were like a singer or a smoker, where basically you're being affected by like a constant irritant. So like with singing, you are using your voice a whole lot, so that even though you can build up those muscles, of course it does irritate your voice because you are overusing it so often. And then of course with smoking, there's not a lot of great benefits with that, so you're constantly irritating that part of your voice, and you would have a consistent kind of inflammation, irritation, infection that would probably come and go with that as well. Or if, and this third thing would be if there were chemicals that you were exposed to, which depending what it is, never great. So it's probably best that you do have the just acute viral laryngitis. It's probably the best one that you can get, despite it not being very comforting. It's extremely painful. Okay? Okay. So the last thing that I would kind of like to leave you with is just the treatments that I'd like to give you. A lot of it is just rest and kind of getting through the pain, basically. I know it feels like your neck kind of feels like it's so swollen, just feels like you have this bulb stuck in your throat, basically. So what you can really do, you can find as many ways to soothe it. It's really the best that you can kind of get through the pain. So I highly, highly recommend is drinking lots of fluids, okay? Water, tea. You can also mix up lemon, ginger, and honey, and then you can either mix that with water or you can brew that with like another tea as well. You can actually do a lemon ginger tea and then just add honey to that. So if you don't have like fresh ginger or lemon, that's a great alternative. Another thing is basically just resting your voice as much as possible. I know sometimes it'll feel really warm, so maybe even like a nice cool cloth to help with the inflammation or anything would definitely help. And then you just kind of have to wait till it's healed. So of course it depends on everybody, but it seems like the average is a little over 2 weeks, so it kind of gets closer to that 3-week mark for everybody to be completely through it. Okay? Yeah, I'm so sorry. That's probably all that I have for you today, unless you do have another question. No? Okay, no problem. Alright, so I'm really sorry that you have to deal with this. I know it's not fun. As for that, that's about as much as we can do. I know. So I would just try to drink as many fluids as you can. Also try and maybe take some vitamin C supplements. That always builds your immune system, and since you do have like an infection basically, that vitamin C will be able to help with that. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. Don't talk too much, okay? Yeah, try to rest your voice as much as you can. Okay, thank you. Besides that, thank you for coming in. I'm really sorry that you lost your voice. It's no fun. It makes everything more difficult, and it's really, really painful, especially with the cough. The cough is not fun. No, it's not. Yeah. Alright, so if anything, of course, gets worse, just make sure to let our office know, okay? Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for coming in. Make sure to drink as much tea, water, just to rest your voice. Maybe instead of talking on the phone, either text or email, anything like that, just to try and suppress any extra irritation on your larynx, okay? Okay, perfect. Okay, good. Alright, well, again, if there's anything else that you need in the future, just give our office a call, okay? Perfect. Alright, well, you get better and we will see you soon. Have a good day.